In the courtyard, the sun had set. The students were scattered throughout the courtyard, some engrossed in their conversations, while others enjoyed the peaceful ambience. As Wine mustered up the courage to propose to Jungkook, the air was filled with a mix of anticipation and excitement. Her heart raced with a nervous excitement. She approached Jungkook, her voice trembling but filled with love. Jungkook, who was staring at the invisible point, asked her a questioning gaze. Jungkook, I have been wanting to tell you something. She stopped and let out a deep breath. I really like you. You mean a lot to me. Jungkook looked at her, his expressions hardened. Wine was staring at him hopefully with a warm smile. Wine, I appreciate your feelings, but I can't reciprocate them. He spoke sternly and turned around to leave. Wine's smile faded and her face turned pale. Jungkook, wait, listen to me, she said, going behind him. I don't want to listen to anything. Wine held his arm. Jungkook released his arm with a jerk. Wine couldn't keep her balance and fell on the ground. Can't you understand? I don't want to listen to you. I have no feelings for you. He whispered, growled, and looked at Wine, who was on the ground with teary eyes. Many gasps and whispers erupted around them. Shit, Jungkook muttered and squinted to help Wine stand, but a pair of muscular arms held her and helped her stand. Paul, she whispered. Paul smiled at her and dusted off her clothes. What are you all looking at? Go do your business. Paul yelled at the students. Wine lowered her head, feeling humiliated. The courtyard seemed to grow still as Wine's heart shattered into millions of pieces. Jungkook clenched his jaw. Wine raised her hand, interrupting him. No need to say anything, she barely whispered and turned around. He wrapped his arm around her shoulder and passed Jungkook a smile. Jungkook grabbed his hair frustratedly, staring at her there like treating February. Wine snapped back to reality. She looked around the room and her eyes landed on Jungkook's large photo frame over the headboard of the bed. She stared at it blankly and stepped closer. I hate you so much, Jung, she mumbled, tracing her fingers over the photo. Wine let out a sigh and moved back. She glanced at the wedding gown and picked out a night suit to change. She made her way towards the washroom, thinking about the past evening. Just a few hours ago, she discovered her arranged husband was John Jungkook. After some time, she walked out of the washroom and laid on the bed. When the door clicked open and closed, Wine didn't bother to look as she knew who it was. After a few moments, she heard footsteps coming closer. Your gift, he said, placing the box on the bedside table. Wine was staring blankly at the ceiling. Jungkook stared at her for a while and turned around towards the washroom. Well, I don't like it. She sighed and opened the box. It was a beautiful diamond bracelet. Jungkook looked at her and raised his brows. Really? But your eyes say something else. He noticed the glow in her eyes. Wine passed him a glare and threw the box on the bedside table. Don't make assumptions about me, she spoke coldly. Jungkook noticed the change in her attitude. Wine was never this way. She was the most innocent girl he had ever seen. By the way, you may sleep on the couch or wherever you want, and don't expect anything from this marriage. I would have never married you if it wasn't for my parents. Jungkook stepped closer and placed his knee on the bed, bending over her. You're chasing me out of my own bed, my own room. Wine moved back. Jungkook held her jaw gently and moved his face closer, their hot breath fanning their faces. One girl trying to control her racing heartbeat. I'm not making assumptions. Your eyes tell everything. You have created the walls around you. You don't want to be near me because you fear you will fall all over from me. It's crystal clear. He whispered over her face. Wine composed herself and pushed him. Jungkook landed on the mattress with a satisfied smile. Wine hovered over him, placing her both hands beside his head. No need to get caught up in false hope, Mr. Jung, she said and leaned to his ear. I love someone else, she whispered into his ear. Jungkook clenched his fist. Wine smiled and looked at him. She was about to move back, but Jungkook encircled his arm around her waist and pulled her. She landed on his chest. Jungkook switched his position. Now he was hovering over her. No matter what you do, now you're right here, right where I want you. He whispered into her ear and bit her earlobe. Go away, she said, trying hard to push him. I'll chase down the depth of your soul, erasing your so-called love for someone else. Every inch of you will bear my mark, and only I'll consume was feeling bored when she received a message from her friend inviting her to a party. Wine grinned, picking out a cream-colored frock and walked to the washroom to change. After some time, she came out and curled her hair, leaving it open on her back. She applied light makeup with red lipstick. She smiled, giving a last touch, and picked out her phone. She sent a message to Lena to send the driver. Wine placed the phone back. Now all she wanted to do was sneak out. After thinking for a while, she went to the kitchen and took out the mop from the utility closet. Thankfully, the mop had the attachable handle. She reattached the handle and made her way to the washroom. The sound of the water splashing and the metallic clinking of the tap echoes the room. After some time, she came out with a victory smile as she broke every tap present in the washroom. Wine looked at herself in the mirror. She let out a sigh of relief as she wasn't wet. She made her way out of the main door as the guards were not allowed to stay in. She cleared her throat, grabbing their attention. "The water tap has broken in my washroom. Please check it." The four guards were surprised to see her all ready, as if she was going to a function. "What are you staring at? Do you want me to complain to Jung?" thought his manner, gawking at his wife. "That's different." Hearing her stone tone, "I'll call the plumber." He took out his phone. "Now go and check yourself. Maybe you can fix it." They exchanged glances at each other. "Fine, I'll check. Mike, come with me," he said to the other guard. "No, you all must come because all the taps have broken." They looked at each other. "Come on. What are you looking at? The water has already wasted. Or do you want me to call Junko?" "No, ma'am, you don't have to call. Let's go," he said and gestured them. They entered, followed by Wine. "If you can't fix it, then call the plumber." She entered the room and picked her phone while the guards nodded and entered the washroom. Wine saw the message from Lena saying driver is at your place. She quietly stood and picked up her clutch and slipped her phone into it. "I'll bring the wrenches," she said and made her way out. "I'm sorry," she mumbled and locked the door from outside. She let out a sigh and walked out of the main door, but Franz seeing the security guard at the gate. "God, why are all these placed his head on the steering wheel and let out a sigh. After a few moments, he heard loud music thumping out loud. Jungkook lifted his head when a car passed by while a few boys were hanging out of the glass panel, holding the bottles of alcohol. In a blink of an eye, they spilled the alcohol on wine. Jungkook's eyes darkened while wine flanged with a muffled scream. Jungkook hopped out of the car and straight towards her. The car turned back towards them. Jungkook held her hand in a harsh grip. The car stopped in front of them, and four guys hopped out who seemed to be drunk. Wine subconsciously hid behind Jungkook. They had guns with them. I see this beautiful girl is not alone. Well, that's fine. He stepped closer, pointing the gun at Jungkook. Wine gripped his shirt from behind. Give the girl to us or I'll shoot you. He was about to hold Wine's hand, but Jungkook jerked it. Don't even think to look at her, he muttered. The guy gestured to the other guys something. They didn't have any weapons. The first guy moved back while the others tried to hit Jungkook, but he dodged it and hit them instead. Wine was too shocked to utter a word. They were too drunk to fight back. I want this girl at any cost. He pulled the trigger and pointed it between Jungkook's eyes. Jungkook lets go. She barely mumbled, "Shoot me," he said, staring right into his eyes and stepped closer. Wine stared at him with shock. Come on, what are you staring at? He growled, a loud gunshot echoed along with Wine's scream. She covered her eyes with her palms. The bullet was pierced between the guy's eyes, as if he had shot him. He glanced at others who were almost dead. Jungkook set the location to his guards and told them to clean this up and turn towards Wine. He held her hand and flung her into his car. Time skip. They silently arrived home. Wine was still in a state of shock. They entered the bedroom. Jungkook was pacing back and forth, taking long breaths, clenching and unclenching his hand as if trying to control his anger. Wine's kiss landed on his knuckles where the blood had dried. She stepped closer and held his hand. Jungkook didn't jerk her hand. He just stared at her blankly. What if he had shot you? Why did you have to challenge him? I was scared. She barely whispered while her eyes were filled with tears. Jungkook bitterly chuckled. So what, I would have been dead and you would have got your freedom. Jungkook, she said sharply. He just rolled his eyes. I don't know why are you doing this, Wine. What is your real self? He let out a tired breath. You're married to me because your parents wanted to keep you safe. You know you have been kidnapped once. Someone is after you, yet you sneaked out like that. I can't believe it. I don't want to keep you hostage, but at least for some time you can compromise. I have promised your parents to keep you safe. She released his hands. He realized it but stayed quiet. If those guards hadn't informed me, I wouldn't have known anything. What you have done today cannot be forgiven or neglected, but I'm forgiving it as your first mistake. Be careful next time because the punishment will be very severe. His tone was stern and firm. Why do you want to protect me? He was quiet for a few moments and then spoke. Because you are my responsibility. He wanted to say something else, but it didn't seem right timing. Somewhere in her heart, Wine was hoping he would say something affectionate, but his word broke her already broken heart. p.m. and Jungkook was sitting in his office thinking about wine. He wanted to confess his love and decided to clear all the misunderstandings between them. His phone beeped, grabbing his attention. He opened the notification. It was from wine. It seems like someone has broken into the house. I'm scared. The veins in his forehead popped. He quickly dialed the car's number, but his phone was switched off. Jungkook passed out of the office and hopped into the car. The 10-minute drive seemed to be 10,000 minutes to him. With each passing second, his heartbeat quickened and sweat beads formed on his forehead. Soon he reached home. The house was whole dark. Each and every light was off. But he cared less. All he wanted was wine's safety right now. He made his way to his room. It was dark as well. Jungkook flipped the switch, turning on the lights. Wine, he called her with raised heartbeat and began taking steps forward. Wine, are you there? On a whim, he ducked under the bed and there Wine was with closed eyes. Wine, come out, it's me. She snapped open her teary eyes and let out a sigh of relief. She quickly crawled out and threw her arms around him. You came, I was scared someone was there. I called the guards but none of them came, so I turned off the lights. Her voice broke. Jungkook held her closer to his chest, rubbing her back. It's okay, I'm here now, don't be scared. He whispered, kissing her crown. Finally, dear brother. Wine broke the hug, hearing familiar voice. Jungkook clenched his jaw. Paul, she looked at him confusingly. He was holding a sharp dagger, while an evil smirk was dancing on his lips. Jungkook stood along with Wine. Yes, me. Why are you here, Paul? Paul laughed. To snatch your favorite thing from you. Jungkook held Wine's hand. Paul, why are you holding that? And why are you calling him brother? She passed Jungkook a questioning gaze. Because he is my brother. He glanced at Wine and then fixed his gaze on Jungkook. I want you to stay away from Wine years ago, but you tricked me. You rejected her, raped, you married her. He seems some crazy guy to Wine. Your enmity is with me. Let Wine go from here. Paul began laughing like a maniac. No, brother, I want to torment you to death, and I can do that only if I kill your loved ones. He spoke with a loud head, and out of the blue, he lifted his head and was about to stab Wine, but Jungkook came in front of her, and the dagger was stabbed in his shoulder. She cried, seeing him grown pale. Paul, what did you do? Are you out of your mind? She yelled at him. Paul stared at them. Today I'll say you're weak, Jungkook. Today I'll say you can't fight me. Today I'll say you can't save your loved ones. He pushed Wine and crouched down at Jungkook, who was glaring at him. Paul was about to stab him, but Wine hit him with the flower vase. Jungkook swiftly picked up the dagger and stood while the blood was dripping from his shoulder to hand. Your end came, Paul. He was stabbing Paul continuously in the stomach when he heard Wine's sobs turn towards her. Her whole body was trembling while she covered her mouth with her palms to stop her cries. Jungkook straight towards her. Wine was staring at Paul with horrified expressions. Hey, it's okay. He can't hurt you now, he whispered, pulling her closer. She quickly hid her face in his chest. Take me out, please, she barely whispered. Jungkook passed Paul's body a death stare and walked Wine out. Jungkook's guards were all unconscious, lying in the backyard. He called Wine's parents. They arrived along with the doctor. Wine was still shocked, discovering Paul had kidnapped her a few months ago. And he was trying to harm her all this time. The doctor tended his wound and went back. Now Jungkook was angry at his guards for being reckless. Sir, there was smoke coming from somewhere. We all began cuffing him, soon passed out. He mumbled with a lower head. Jungkook gestured him to go away. Wine was sitting on the sofa staring at the floor. Jungkook leaned on the headboard of the bed staring at Wine. Wine, she didn't budge from her place. Wine, this time he said a little louder. Yes, she mumbled faster. Come here. She stood and walked towards the bed seat. He gestured, staring at her intensely. What happened? He held her hand and placed it on his heart. Wine looked at him, feeling his heartbeat. She tried to pull away her hand, but his grip was firm. I'm sorry I bothered you a lot. I didn't know this was so serious. She spoke embarrassingly. He just smiled slightly. But that's your fault. You should have told me. Paul is your brother and he's after all this. In seconds, she attributed all the blame on him. Jungkook chuckled. I told you, did you believe darling. Can't you love me or at least like me? She asked instead of